What's up, party people? Thank you for joining us for another exciting installment of the CS Skills Exchange. We have the honor today to have Devin Harris with us, and supporting cast is Todd Swinehart. So they are here to talk to us about security audits and how to handle them. So they've got some really exciting updates. I've got the agenda in the chat, so please ask your questions. This is a friendly audience. I think they've got some really great updates. So Devin, the floor is yours.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen right now. First off, I see a bunch of familiar faces in the chat. A couple people I haven't worked with yet, but this has been an area that has been very painful for us in transition and scaling, as many of you know. So we decided we wanted to come and talk to you and try to figure out how we can be better partners. So first off, this is our team. We have three of us. Rob is our manager. He's also in charge of three other teams. So he's not really our manager, but he provides some management functions. And then it's Todd and I. I'm in Central Time Zone. Todd's over in the Eastern Time Zone. And we just created a new Slack channel. You can see that here on the slide. It's Sec-Filled Security. That's public. It's a place you can come engage us anytime you need anything. And oftentimes it's a quick way to just reach out to us. So like there have been times that things have been assigned to our board that we weren't notified of. And just a quick reach out on Slack like, hey, this has been here for a couple days, can really make a big difference there. All right, cool. So we're gonna talk about productivity and workflow. Most of you know this and not much has changed. But the first thing you wanna do is refer our customers to public statements on security via the Security Trust Center. And compliance put together a really great security compliance controls page. In fact, I think I forgot to load the security compliance controls page. Oh, no, I did load them. All right, so the Trust Center, most of you are already familiar with. It's just high level what we do for security as a company. The security compliance controls is a very in-depth look at how we put together our controls for SOC 2 and other control frameworks moving forward. And where the meat of it comes is down here with individual control statements. So for instance, one that I know that we're not doing good is inventory management. We're looking to mature here. And it will straight up say right here, we are not currently tracking, back-end inventories are not maintained. So I mean, we're pretty bare and on the table. At the bottom, you'll see we have framework mappings to all the different frameworks that they've mapped the control statement to. So that's extremely helpful in helping customers self-serve. Let's see. So we're coming up with some industry accepted questionnaires, more about that in the near future, like in future slides. You guys always take a first pass on it. Then you load it to the SA triage board. And this is an area where we've had some sticking. Until it's tagged security ready for review, we don't get a notification on it. So make sure that you're tagging it security ready for review once you've done your first pass and you're ready for us to look at it. We try to turn these around in 10 days. I know that has not been the experience that some of you have had. And we are really trying to kill down our backlog right now, but we have such a huge backlog. And your team has been so great at working with us, getting through that. If there was not a first pass done, we'll return the questionnaire to you and unlabel it, security ready for review. Went the wrong way here. All right, so demand has been so great. You guys are killing it with sales right now. And in recent conversations, we've decided there's gonna be a floor of $20,000 on any questionnaires that we're going to touch as field security. If you have something on the board already, that doesn't apply, but moving forward, if it's less than $20,000, field security is not gonna answer the questionnaire, but we are gonna provide some self-service options. There have been changes to the SA template to reflect that. And look here. So on the SA template now, everything requires having a completion date. If you don't put in a completion date, it should default to January of 2021, which I don't think anybody's trying to have their questionnaire done that late. And then there is a tier level. Where is the tier level? For some reason, oh, here we go, the tiers. So if you look here, the tiers are based off of ACV. So if it's under $500,000, it's not a tier 1. If it's between $100,000 and $500,000, it's a tier 2. And then if it's between $20,000 and $100,000, then it's a tier 3. And competing issues will be based off of tiers. All right. All right, so this is what I mentioned a couple slides ago that said is coming. So we're working on a security deflection package. It's something we're really excited about. Once we get it out, I think it'll help a ton. When I was at Duo before this, we had one. We've talked to several people in the industry that this is what they're doing to scale their programs. And these are some things that will be in the package. So our SOC 2 Type 1 letter of attestation should help a lot. I know most customers want a SOC 2 Type 2, and we're moving that way. Compliance has a really good page on what that path forward looks like. But the SOC 2 Type 1 should be ready no later than 1st of August. Compliance is telling us probably sooner than that. The CSA CAIQ, we're actually filling this one out right now for a customer and the package. Pete has been a great partner there. We're doing a SIG and a SIG Lite. Currently, we're waiting for finance to give us the license for the SIG, and then once we have that, we can roll. We're compiling the policy documentation into like PDF files, so that way we don't have to necessarily point people to links in the handbook for those customers that want a point-in-time snapshot. With an updated network flow and data flow diagram for GitLab.com. We're already providing the penetration test report and remediation status, but all that's going to be rolled into a single package. And you can track the status of that here in this tracking issue that's linked. So, you know, you can see the SIG is on hold right now until we have that license. Let's see, keep going the wrong way here. All right, once we roll this out, it's pretty important that we understand like how effective this is. And, you know, we would like your help with that to understand who's taking it and saying like, hey, this is great, I don't need anything else. I think the majority will be customers that take it and say like, hey, can you answer these extra couple questions, or can you provide clarification, which would be great. And then of course, we're gonna have some customers who probably say, no, you've got to do it our way because this is the way we do it. And, you know, we'd like to measure what that's looking like. Right now, we understand that our results are less than optimal as a team, and we are truly sorry that we're kind of letting you guys down, but we're working very hard to scale. The Deflection Pack's going to help with that a lot. You guys have been fantastic, fantastic partners. You know, the SAs that I've worked with have been very positive. You know, we're trying to get out of your way as much as possible. We want to not be a friction point in your sales cycle. So we're a team of 2, and this is where first passes are really important. The better a first pass comes in, the quicker we can turn it around. So some of our early metrics are showing that without a first pass, or with a first pass that has to be redone, we're taking about 2.5 minutes a question. Some of these questionnaires being, you know, 300, 400 questions. That's quite a bit. But on the first passes that are coming in like really, really solid, we're less than 35 seconds on getting those questions out. Maybe like minor tweaks or adding a link, and that's been great. I'd please ask you, don't put us in direct contact with customers, especially for first meetings. We're happy to meet with them, and we're happy to talk to customers. It's something we love doing, but we don't understand the account background of customers and the individual dynamics there. And the last thing we want to do is tank a relationship that the sales team has worked really hard to build. Follow-up questionnaires, we treat as new questionnaires. So the other day we got a questionnaire in on like Friday that was 110 new questions that the customer wanted Monday. And that can't happen. And, you know, we would love to be able to scale to that, but right now that's not possible for us to do. So first passes, we're trying to help here a lot with good resources. I know that the resources stink. Historically, we've had this completed questionnaires folder, which I hate using. It is not much fun. Some of these are really dated. Some of them are fairly new. When I use this folder, the best way I've found to use it is to do an advanced search in Google Drive, like searching for a name within this folder. So like, you know, you can select this folder and search for like specific items, but it's terrible. So we're doing a beta program in the interim to try to help with this. We started a Q&A pair board where everything is question in the title, and then the issue goes over like the answer, and everything's tagged either verified or unverified. Unverified doesn't mean it's not good to send. It just means there's not a definitive link to it, or a definitive source. So we've got our answers here. We've got tags in the bottom to try to help with searching. Please, if you use this, let us know how it works. If you see questions that you want in here, just add an issue. One day, hopefully soon, we'll have a full featured knowledge management RFP system and not something homegrown like an RFP-IO, a RFP360, a Loopio. Some of those systems are pretty advanced and will let you like load a spreadsheet in. It'll auto-populate it and say like, hey, we weren't able to find answers for these 4 things. And it can be super helpful, but they're very costly. And obviously it's onboarding a new vendor. So, you know, we wanted to put a stopgap in place for the time being. Ooh, man,
Devin, we have a comment in the chat that Tim said it would be helpful to have .com and self-managed separate folders would be really helpful.
Oh, that is actually a really fantastic idea. We will definitely take that on board because there are some differences. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. All right, so there's multiple teams that go into a lot of these questionnaires. There's one team that you have to engage with outside of us, and that's legal. Legal has their very own way that they want customer questions answered, and I've linked it here. If I've worked with you recently on a ticket, I've tried to pull out like, hey, these are the ones that have to go to legal early. So that way it's not like our review's done, now you got to go to legal. But there's a customer related contracts and questions, and it's in Salesforce, and we can't even get to that area in Salesforce, like we're gated access there. But that's how legal wants to answer questions for their metrics. And then a lot of times, I'm sure that many of you have had the experience where like Cindy Blake has to come on to talk about secure, or, you know, just the other day I had to bring an application security engineer on to talk about something very deep in the weeds on application security. We'll engage those teams and get the answers, and that's a lot of what we're doing. We're building relationships to try to minimize those like one single point of failure areas. But you know, a lot of times we don't have all the answers all the time. We have to engage like subject matter experts here. All right, so we stole the customer call request issue template from production. We thought this was a great idea when we saw that they had it to help us scale for meeting calls. So on our board, basically just come in and put who's requesting it, date and time. The medium is, you know, you can leave that blank if you're actually submitting the issue, but as for us, like if we're saying like, hey, we were asked in Slack, 2 business days would be super helpful. So that way we can prep for it and make sure we're not messed up. Once again, any topics that you can get ahead of time will be super helpful. So like, I've seen vague statements like customer wants to talk about securing getlab.com. That can go a million different ways. If we can press just a little bit deeper and say like, are you concerned? Like, what are you concerned about addressing? That way, if there has to be subject matter experts there, we can get them there. That being said, I haven't had a call just go south. So, you know, we do the best we can. So yeah, once again, if the account executive or the solutions architect aren't able to be on the call, or both, please, for a first call, don't put us on a call by ourselves. For follow-up conversations, that's fine. But we really don't want to tank that relationship and do damage to the sales cycle here.
By the way, he's talking mostly about me and not about himself.
No, I'm talking about me too. I would actually probably be a little bit freaked out if I had to be on a call by myself with a customer for the first time and didn't know anything about them. I mean, I've made the mistake once or twice about filling out like for .com when it's really a self-managed product, and that's just been painful. But we hear you. Things are painful. We're working super hard to scale, and we're not purposefully letting your tasks drop. We're working very hard, but we need your help, and we're in this together. Those of you who are doing really great first passes, please keep that up. That makes a huge difference for us. We're open to feedback and suggestions. We've got the new Slack channel opened up. You guys have been great partners. And the last thing that like I'm going to leave you with, I pinned this as the discussion topic in our Slack channel. Actually, now that I say that, I don't know if I have yet, but I will, is a handout for field security. We'll keep this up to date. just like on the job if you want something quick to reference. Who we are, how to reach us, a link to the security questionnaire process. That doesn't mean you can't come in and ask questions about things that are under 20 grand if you're engaging in a questionnaire. It's just we're not going to take a pass on that questionnaire. Customer call, issue request template, scaling, and then links to 2 of the big projects that we're working on. And Tim, I've got your feedback there on creating a .com and a self-managed. I think I might implement those as labels, but if you have specific feedback on that, it'd be cool to be able to talk on your specific thoughts there.
Yeah, I'd say some sort of, as long as you can search between the two, GitLab.com, like, yeah, you set it right on the, depending on which one you're filling out is going to vastly differ.
All right, and that's all I have for the team. So the floor is open.